Hello, hello. Why can't you see me? Let's try this. There we go. There I am. Had to turn it off and turn it back on again. How's it going, everyone? Happy Thanksgiving week to the Americans in the room. Seems like I'm a little low on the volume. Get that cranked up a little bit. Were you guys able to hear Large Marge's member chat? We were able to hear it over here, but it didn't look like it popped up. So I wanted to know if you guys were able to hear it. So let me know. Because I want that to be playing the rest of the stream if anyone else does that stuff. Why won't it capture that audio? Yeah, let me know, guys. So say what's up to everybody and then we'll get started. This is how I start off behind right off the bat. What's up, Nice Up? Large Marge, as I mentioned. Cycling Brian. Rock Eastwood is here. Carl is in here. Got to see Carl over the weekend for the first time in a long time. So, Dimitri, what's up? Kyotonda, how's it going? Salty Rider. Patty's in here. William. Did I say what's up to Salty Rider? Bob Darrow, what's up? Got to see Bob last week. Kevin, what's up? What else do we got? Oh, we said what's up to Dimitri. Madison's up in here. Dennis, how's it going? Hog Dog, Op Obscurity, Mark Day. My screen went really dark for some reason. My chat's all like blacked out. Sorry guys. Derpler, Plez. Yeah. Matt Rhodes is in here. What's up? Bike Breath. Hey, how's it going? Large Marge said, did not hear it. Yeah, I don't know why the audio is not popping up. That doesn't make any sense. I didn't change anything. Let me know if you hear this.
Middlebury Shop subscribed to the channel.
Let me know if you heard that subscription. I didn't hear... Oh, here we go.
Left Caldwell subscribed to the channel.
Hog Dog said it's snowing out there in the mountains. Yeah, we had an overnight snow. The ground's too warm for it to stick. It snowed pretty good, but it was all gone. It started raining then. CB, what's up? JC, Raymond, Michael, Christopher, Bonnie. I assume that's Bonnie, right? B-O-N-N-E. It's been Black Friday since Halloween for all I know. Kermit, what's up? Used Bikes is in here. Comrade Dennis. Tanya, what's up? Jay Dandy. Wow. Yeah, we got a good group in here. I guess what, Thanksgiving weekend, so trying to get down to the bottom to see if you guys heard those subscriptions. So
Only through the mic.
only through the mic. Why?
Paddy Redbeard became a
It's
member.
not playing.
Paddy Redbeard celebrates 45 months of membership. 45. The number of the beast. Fish. Sailboat. Fish. Sailboat. Fish. Sailboat. Banana.
Yeah, why is that not playing? Okay. Yeah, I think you guys might be hearing it for the mic a little bit, but it's not actually playing like it should over the stream. Didn't change any of that, so I have no idea why. Properties. Control audio via OBS. I don't see anything that would be stopping that from happening, so I just have no idea. And I was sober when I did the last stream, so it's not like I messed something up. Yeah, only through the mic. Ah, man. Do my British voice. I can't remember if you guys ever got me to read those out loud. All right. Rob in the Bronx, what's up? Ah, Matt. That's why. Fly Borha Ho. I've never known how you. I've always read your other screen name. I think is that your Twitch screen name is Fly by Ohio or in your Discord name, right? Yeah. What's up, Blaine? How's it going? JC. Yeah, you guys are saying only through the mic. Weird. Any good bike deals for Black Friday? It seems like everyone's having a sale. I'm just not in the market for anything bike-wise. I've more been looking at some of the photography sales, but I don't get over crazy about Black Friday. I don't really worry about it too. So yeah, so there is a little reverb because you're hearing audio from Dave's mic as well. We're close enough, and his is a shotgun mic, so it picks up a little bit of my voice as well. Why is the desktop audio not working? This is one of these things that'll just drive me crazy, even though it doesn't matter all that much. Does this look like it's grayed out to you, Dave? No, it's just because nothing's bouncing, right? I mean, because it's grayed out here. I mean, yeah, damn. Let me switch to a video real quick and see if you could hear the video. Were you guys able to hear the intro music? No idea why that's happening.
You want to get copyrighted right from the get-go?
Yeah. Weird. This is just straight OBS, desktop OBS. But I haven't changed anything, and we've been doing this for 4 years now. So, yeah, Bonnie sounds about as right as you can pronounce it. It's an sound, but you're using the bana, so like bana. Or am I pronouncing the first syllable wrong? Bonnie? Oh, from the Netherlands. Okay, so it has a pronunciation that I probably would not know. Flyboy Row. Okay, Matt, that's how you pronounce it. Gotcha. Dimitri said he's always pronounced it as Flyborough. My brain, when there's a series of letters, completely skips over them, makes up its own word, and then sticks with that. My girlfriend always makes fun of me when I finally say something out loud that I've never, that I've only had that kind of thing in my head for. So. Eduardo says I join early just to see Tim troubleshoot the live stream every Tuesday. Yeah. It's funny because, like I said, the whole idea of live streaming I got from Terry B anyways, which that's kind of what a couple of us who are talking about screen names, that's where we know each other from. But that's how so many of them were like, what's wrong going on? And I'm like, yeah. And I totally get it. When something isn't working, you just can't, you're just like, why? Why is it not working? This computer is running Windows 10. It's a custom PC, but it can't run Windows 11 because it's missing whatever that, I don't remember. I switched to Mac on my main computer a couple of years ago, but for some reason this computer can't upgrade to Windows 11, even though it came out like, this was built like 6 months before Windows 11. Yeah, intro music, yeah, I don't get it. Desktop audio is just not doing anything for some reason. Let me take a look at this. So, it'd be top TV, Windows 10 and up, capture cursor. There's no audio options for that. Because it's not pulling it from the TV, it's just pulling it from the operating. Oh, maybe the volume's off on the operating system. Nope. Maybe it's set on the wrong thing in the operating system. It should be Realtek. That's the problem. Someone spent a ton of money right now so I could tell if it's working. What's the other way? Is there any other channel members in here who could use their members chat so we could see if I fixed it? I think I did. I think it was on the wrong source in Windows. Anyways. Yeah, web source overlay is not muted because it's just pulling the desktop audio for that. That's how we got busted for the copyright music. I was just playing YouTube and it was just pulling desktop audio. So What's something I could play that wouldn't be an infringement? Oh, one of my own videos. Let's see. Wow, come on. There it is.
So if you watched my
Figured
last
it out.
video, I had said how there was
It's
snow in
on
the
the wrong
forecast, but I
source
didn't
in the
believe it was
Windows
actually going to
operating
snow.
system. That's just how audio works in Windows. So, sorry, we didn't get to hear the funny English guy when you guys did your chats. JC Cell asked about the Kona Sutra. We were talking about Konas last week. There's just not many around here, so I don't have a strong opinion on any of their bikes. I mean, I think they all look great, and I just know people who really like them, but yeah. Oh, he did the Trans Am. I saw that video pop up in my feed, but I have not watched it yet, so I'm sure I will. Oh yeah, that's the way I pronounced it, like Bonnie and Clyde. But far too much about me. Need to buy a new computer due to the update in October. Yeah, I actually switched to just to dip my toes into Mac, which I've never liked Macs. I bought a M1 Max, kind of a maxed out 14-inch laptop, a little over a year ago. Yeah, probably a year and a half ago now, and even now the thing is still mind-blowing in power compared to this giant custom PC. And they're already on the M4s, and the M1 still. That's why we were late tonight. We were actually. Yours is an M2 or M3, Dave?
2.
Dave got an M2 Max.
No,
Pro?
not the Max.
M2 Pro. Yeah, so I was kind of showing him some video editing stuff. We had both the computers set up, but yeah, just the way I was showing him some things, and I'm like, if I tried to do this on my PC with its powerful graphics card, it would slow down like crazy. Salty Rider said, just got a set of Redshift top shelf bars for your Surly Disc trucker. Nice. Redshift, I can't remember who it was. It's in the Discord. Reached out to me because someone told them they should check out my channel, and they asked if we wanted to do anything, and I should not have slept on that as long as I have. I still need to get back to them. But kind of cool that Redshift reached out, and it was because of one of you. So maybe need a map interlude while I troubleshoot. Yeah, I'm going to try and control a map and fix the audio at the same time. Yeah, it's this Windows machine. You'll definitely hear Windows notifications. The Netherlands is a great cycling country. Yeah, I guess probably the most famous cycling country, right? I mean, that's people over here completely associate the two. Are you hearing a hiss in the background? That could be just a connection. Not showing any kind of feedback, but there could always be something. That might have been that compressor next door is kicking on. Oh, I didn't hear Jay Dandy super chatted though. Did that even pop up?
I was gonna ask you, how far back are we? That didn't pop up.
No, but that's a whole different problem. I didn't see Stream Elements pull up Jay Dandy's 99-cent super chat. Dimitri said Jay Dandy put the decimal in the wrong place. What are we drinking? I have a Black Raja from Brew Kettle. I love White Raja, and the Black Raja is their seasonal version, which is really good. So a dark IPA, black IPA. They were one of the first ones to do it. So, what's up, Gary? Oh, nice. John Span said, just had his first ride on his new Wild Earthship. Such a delight. I'd like to see what your Earthship looks like. Nice. road bike, city bike, mountain bike, and e-bike. That's perfect. That's a pretty good combo. Yeah, I like Mac the best when it comes to the power now and the efficiency. I still prefer Windows as an operating system. There's still stuff in Mac that just drives me crazy. But having an iPhone, there's other things where I was like talking to my girlfriend tonight about how like the shared clipboard, I had to like copy code between my phone and computer and Command C on my desktop, and then being able to save it in the notes and everything on my phone, like with one press, is pretty amazing. Obviously, if I just saved it in the notes on the Mac, it would be on the iPhone too. But hey, Donald's up in here from Cincy. How's it going? Yeah, you know what's funny? Like I know you mentioned that in a comment, Donald, about like it's being hunting season, and so staying. I I've never really worried about that up here. I mean, like I've never worried about where I ride my bike because of deer season. I mean, there's some places like national forests that you wouldn't go. Like the Bailey's is closed for deer season, I believe. Um, but yeah, just being in the country and on the roads, I don't really worry about. When we were on the McDade Trail in Delaware, we heard and saw a hunter. He was wearing orange. I turned on my headlight as a flasher and stuff like that, and that would have been way sketchier because we were like kind of in the woods where someone was hunting. But on the road, man, if a hunter is shooting his gun towards the road, he's an idiot, first off. But, because I mean, that same bullet that would take you out would also go right through a car. So, yeah, I mean, not saying you shouldn't do that. It's not something I tend to worry about. It's how I feel about cycling in general. Everyone should be as careful as they feel they should, though. Oh, you said you've been thinking about buying DaVinci Resolve now that you've used the free version forever. Yeah, I was talking to Dave about DaVinci and the other good options, Final Cut, and the reason I stick with Premiere, Adobe, which I'm not gonna bore you with. But yeah, I always figure with a program like DaVinci, you'll know when you've hit your limit of when you need to pay for it. But yeah, if you don't feel like you're bumping up against any limitations, then you're fine. I actually used to edit videos in Photoshop when I started editing videos, and then once I realized I couldn't do things, I knew I needed to buy Premiere. But I feel like that happens with almost anything, bikes, cameras, software. You'll know when you've reached the limitation of what that stuff can do, and that's when you need to start paying for something or pay for something better. But Licious NYC. You said newbie cyclists and want to dive into bike packing. Which GPS navigation do you budget for Google Maps or equivalent? I mean your phone. You already own it, right? Um, if you're gonna step up from your phone, I've never messed with the budget ones. I just bought a Wahoo. Like the Wahoo Element Bolt is $300, which to me compared to $1,000 phone, and now most phones are more than $1,000, is a good deal. And mine is what 2-3 years old. So when you break that down, and there's people who are still using version ones, and mine's a version 2, I would get a Wahoo or a Garmin, and I wouldn't mess around with trying to go budget. Because here's the thing, even if you don't take to backpacking, it's useful on every single ride you go on, because it's so much better to get to record your rides, you get to see your speed, you get everything about it that's useful on every ride you go on, even if you're not mapping. So I would say if you're serious about the budget, just get a mount for your phone. But if you want a computer, I would get a Garmin or a Wahoo. So there's other options. I've watched the reviews. Some people like a couple of these newer brands or brands that have jumped into bike computers. They all seem to have something that to me is a deal breaker, whereas Wahoo and Garmin don't. And I'm only a Wahoo guy because they're simple. I like the fact that they're super simple and unintrusive. If you want to be able to do more, Garmin's have way more options and touch screens and more colors and all that kind of stuff. I saw that, Dimitri. I think I saw Bike Breath share a couple things about that, which is just crazy. Yeah, where everyone else is going in the opposite direction, even conservative Ohio. So, what's up, Rob? Yeah, it still should have read that. Maybe because it was a sticker, but it usually still reads the emojis out loud, Jay Dandy, and your message should have popped up on screen. That was just a completely different failure. Rounds from San Diego. Nice. I amazingly have never been to California at all, and it's completely been on my list for so many reasons. So.
Paddy Redbeard super chatted $11. This chat goes to 11 o'clock, and there's no emoji for armadillo.
So Paddy's is on screen. The faders bounced like it was playing, but I couldn't hear it. Did you see that, Dave? What? I'm going to jump down to the bottom to see if you guys heard that. Also, $11. Thanks so much, Patty.
That one came through. Now, did you turn same issue we were having before, where then we don't hear it? Did you mute something? Change the scene?
Nothing looks
Not
muted.
the scene, but
Yeah, no idea. As long as they could hear it, but it's just weird that I couldn't hear it. How do you guys have mayors in Canada that are removing bike lanes? Aren't you guys the liberal country? Like,
I think there's an underlying issue with trying to build a highway. And that I was just reading. It seems like the bike lane thing is collateral damage.
Adam said someone shooting towards the road should have their license revoked. For sure. I mean, that doesn't mean that someone can't be an idiot out there, so you don't want to be cautious. But me and Dave both worked on a farm where we shot shotguns all the time, and very conscious of where the bike path was, where the roads were. Never shot in that direction. There was one in the fall where I noticed how close it was, and then I was like, holy shit. Because I think back in Harold Across the Creek, I didn't realize how close it cut through the back side of there, over the creek there. And once I saw that in the fall, I was like, oh, God. But we were shooting shotguns for birds. So,
you
shooting a rifle that will...
as a shooter, you should know where you're at,
yeah,
what you're pointing at. I would hope anybody knows the difference between a bicycle riding through trees versus a deer running through trees. But
yeah. Also, out in the country, the plots tend to be, not everywhere, but more square. The Cuyahoga Valley is crazy because it's so curvy and our fields weren't straight. But still, it was on us to be aware of where that was, Oh, nice, Kevin. That sounds rad. I've never shot a deer down there. You did a little nuisance hunting with Johnny, right? Did you guys go on and get some deer sometimes? I never did. I was always just getting the birds and the raccoons.
I might have gone out. I wasn't getting
You
anything.
weren't getting anything. They were out there. You were shooting a gun.
Yeah, I was
were
the
living.
one crying behind a tree.
Yeah. I was. Where was I? I was at one of those places where you shoot. It's kind of like skeet or clay shooting, but they're like obstacles. They go in different ways. They like roll across the ground.
Sport shooting.
Sport shooting, and someone wrote like, "Save the clay pigeons," and I'm like, "Trust me, plenty survived." Salty Rider said riding around in Los Angeles is more dangerous than hunting season. Yeah. Yeah, I think getting hit by a deer on my bike is something I've worried about. There's times a year where they're like on the Freedom Trail. Those things are everywhere. Like,
Oh, Freedom Trail's pretty wild. Yeah, they got one thing in mind. Chasing that doe.
yeah. What is it? Is that worse in the spring or fall? That's spring.
Just
Yeah.
we just ended just now.
Oh, just now. So it is like fall. Yeah. Some rail trails go through state game lands. Yeah, and again, I think taking precautions, if you know you're going to be in a state game land, having some flashers on or bright colors obviously makes sense. But yes, any seasoned hunter should not be shooting a cyclist on a bike path. But again,
In that scenario, I'd be more worried about than pissing off a hunter that's been sitting in a tree. You come flying through with all your bright flashing lights, and he's disgruntled because nothing's come in front of his tree all day.
now back to for bike computers, just catching up to that part of the chat. Bike Brush said he's been running a version 1 element bolt for 6 years now. So there you go. I to save money is not worth it because I mean, again, just think of how long these things last. So $300 over 6 years. I'm sure you've spent money on way stupider stuff than that. Not to, maybe you haven't. I definitely do. Gary said Bolt's excellent. Yeah. Yeah, this is one of the reasons that I've talked about. I've made like a couple videos about bike computers and why I like them, whatever brand you choose. My phone is, I buy like, I don't upgrade every year or all the time, but I buy like the pro iPhones and stuff because I'm a power user or whatever. But, I edit photos on there. I post, I, mess with YouTube. All just what I do for a living. I'm a photographer and stuff like that. I feel like a $300 computer is a way to save. I don't want my $1,200 or whatever it cost phone out there on my handlebars, and because if something goes wrong, that's a way more expensive mistake. And I've dropped my Wahoo and I've crashed with my Wahoo and never had any issues. So, hey, what's up, Colby? Yeah, Strava's it's weird. So I use a couple third-party things with Strava, and none of it with the API stuff is affecting what I use. Wanderer said it's not going to affect them. It seems like it's more if you're using like coaching programs that like the data's going to. And I don't know, like Strava's integrated some AI stuff in there, and I wonder if they're about to like add more features that they feel like you should be paying them for instead of someone else. It's a shitty move, and I think Strava's making a big mistake, and I'm hoping they walk it back. But so far, it's not affecting anything that I do with Strava, thank God. So, oh yeah, and then phone. If your phone is out there on a cold day, yeah, it'll die really fast. Whereas that won't happen with a bike computer. They're made to withstand that. William Ravon said first gen Wahoo element that's still going. Nice. And you can connect your phone to a battery. Again, that's just more stuff you have to deal with. So whether you want to do it or not, is up to you. Nice used bike. I was thinking of showing it on the stream tonight, but I'm going to hold off. Just got a vintage Motobacan today, and has almost all the original parts. One rim has been replaced because the guy who had it did bike touring on it, and actually crushed one of the wheels, started breaking spokes. But it'll actually be in the next video, which will probably come out on Thursday. I show it a little bit before I go for a bike ride, but it's cool. So you guys heard that super chat, but we can't hear it. What a weird. Oh yeah, Patty Redbeard is also moving into his season since he's out in the desert. This is when they start riding. So. Oh, nice. Khalid said, got to come for the Cookie Fondo. Yeah, I do follow Phil Gaiman's YouTube channel and Instagram accounts. But, yeah, never been there. I actually, when it comes to California, one of the things I want to do is some of the gravel riding, like riding up there in the mountains outside of LA and stuff is something I would really like to go do in, like, February when we're at the worst like weather here. So Raymond said there's a story every year in New York of one hunter shooting another. Yeah, a hunter shooting another hunter surprises me less than them shooting a bike. Bikes move very different at very different paces, right? But you're still an idiot if you shoot someone like Dick Cheney shooting his buddy in the face.
Yeah, you shouldn't be hunting if you can't distinguish between a human and a deer.
Yeah.
You should know what you're shooting before you pull the trigger.
Yeah, you should know that's a deer. If you have a question in your mind, don't pull the trigger.
Right.
Yeah. All right, Bona. Have a good night. That could be misconstrued too. Greg said came up on some hunters in the Pinckney recreation area, hunting on the trail. One was aiming down the trail at your riding direction. Again, idiots. They should not be on the trail at all. Like whether it's season and whether it's in a forest where you're game land, but pointing in your direction. No one wants to see a gun pointing in their direction. But again, like Dave said, until you've completely identified, you should never pull a trigger. So,
not to get off topic, but on trail or just anywhere in general, do you skip barriers, like road closed barriers or any of that?
Like when? Like what would the?
Oh, like construction or.
Yeah.
You might think there's nothing going on. It might be a quarter mile up trail, but they're doing, maintenance, tree work or whatever it is. You'll jump barriers?
Yeah.
Road closed is road closed, man.
Yeah, I know. And we were talking about this. I had some friends go around the barriers in the Metro Park, and it turned out the guys were out there.
Well, that's
calling the deer herd.
I'm right there.
Yeah.
We're right down from that in the stream, and seeing people walking through there. There's been a few close calls, so they just shut down the whole road.
Yeah.
But the hunting or anything, I mean, they might have that trail closed.
It's definitely since then one thing we've started to talk about on bike paths, like because we're like, well, this is my way home. I could whatever's coming up, I could get around it. I know this trail.
Mm-hmm.
People had not considered that they could be out doing stuff like that. So
right.
I've definitely told everybody about that. So, Yeah, during hunting season or in places like parks, you go around anything that you're definitely at your own risk at that point.
Yeah, I don't know if anything because there's like public hunting land. I don't know if trails necessarily run through there, but
yeah,
I could imagine shutting that down during the season.
Yeah, Rock was saying they do in Pennsylvania. But. Gary said flat bar versus drop bar for gravel. My gravel bike is set up drop bar. I mean, I don't like straight flat bars for anything really, but I run sweep bars on my ATV, so I don't have an overall preference. I like them both. I have bikes set up kind of with each, one with sweep, one with drops. Then other alt bars on different bikes too. Rob asked about, do you recommend a battery or a dynamo for bike packing overnight? If it's just a few nights, definitely just a battery. A dynamo is a little bit expensive for just a couple overnighters. I think dynamos are way better if you're going to be doing longer stuff or riding through the night a lot, which I don't. I also don't do a lot of overnighters when it's cold and dark early. So bikepacking.com, if you don't follow them on YouTube, he just did a video deep diving into that exact topic and saying when dynamos come into their own. I think they're pretty specific use cases. Personally, I don't think you just need a dynamo unless you're doing things that justify it, longer things, riding at night more. And it depends. That's why that video is so good, because he goes into every different use case. I would definitely check it out. Bikepacking.com's YouTube channel. I'm not sure I know what that means. Is an internet site video playing moderator a pimp with 2 smartphones or something like that? Used bike, I'm not sure I understand the question. I mean, some hunters are nuts on a good day. I mean, there's crazy people everywhere, right? I think cars are, like, I agree with people. Cars are more dangerous to me than hunters. That would be my number one concern, is getting hit by a car.
I don't know if you heard the domestic going on outside your door earlier
Yeah,
today.
I know. God,
I wouldn't
jeez.
want to ride by anything like that.
I heard people talk about using a cheap Android phone to run Ride with GPS to navigate. Yeah, nothing wrong with that if you want that. One of the things I was saying, I've always said about using a phone instead of a bike computer, is I just find phones super distracting. And of course, you could be logged out on stuff if it's a second phone, but it's the other reason I like a bike computer, because it's so easy to get sucked into your phone. And also, as a freelancer, I answer my emails and a lot of my phone calls, but they could also wait until I get where I'm going. So even on a bike tour, like even on like a day ride where I'm like getting away for a while, I don't want to see those notifications. But then say I stop for a beer, I stop for lunch, then I'll look at my phone, pull it out, and do that. So another reason I don't want my phone on my bars is they're so disruptive to have a peaceful bike ride where a bike computer won't be. I have my texts and my phone calls come through on the bike computer, but not emails. And even on my phone, I don't leave social media notifications on or any of that stuff. So Dave said, good to know the new Strava rules aren't impacting Wanderer. Yeah, that's the one I was worried about the most. I actually pay for that one, so. Yeah, Greg LeMond got shot while hunting in the 80s. That is true. I mean, you're around a bunch of people with guns, people are going to get shot once in a while, but I think it's like anything else. Like, right? I mean, but it's like,
Accidents happen.
Accidents happen. But I mean, I think it's the same kind of thing as like airplanes go down once in a while, but it's still like statistically almost no chance you'll ever die in an airplane crash. Yeah.
That was his, it was a relative.
It was a relative, yeah.
He was probably just pissed he won the tour.
Yeah. I've definitely looked at videos of the Pacific Coast Highway. William Ron said, cut a phone screen protector to fit your Wahoo. Has anyone else ever done that? Yeah, with the Wahoo, I'm just really not worried about it. I see like some of my friends have the full rubber cases and all that. I just feel like those things can take such a beating that I've never worried about it. But like anything else, though, I don't put a screen protector on my iPhone though. So that's just my.
Standy super chatted $1.99. Greg Lee Non says, don't shoot me, dude. Cactus, turkey, pig, hamburger, chips, world map, cap, bicyclist.
Oh, is it the volume on this? Does this have a volume rock?
But that shouldn't change. We heard it earlier.
Yeah, it makes no sense. Absolutely no sense. Thanks, Jay Dandy, and I can hear the emojis being read in my head. Your dad and brother do heavy equipment construction. If you can get a car around a barrier, you're usually good to go. If you can't and go around anyway, you're going to careen into a trench. Well, that's one of the things with bikes, like even me and Aaron's video in Alliance, there was a road closed thing on a dam, and we got out there and there was a sinkhole, but on a bike, tons of room to get around it. If you were in a car, you would have been in a sinkhole, and that's why they had it closed. But Private GPS Strava should publish ownership maps. I'm not sure what that means. ONX does it today in US. Yeah, I just don't. I'm not sure what you mean by that. What's up, Robert?
Ownership maps, like landowner.
Oh, landowner maps. So you know who. Yeah. I guess, yeah. I do think if you're going out to ride in an area, like you're most likely going to be aware of what the situation is, right? Like if, like, um, Rock said that he knows he's riding in game lands, he knows what he's doing. But in trails in Michigan, recreation areas do not close. Just a sign saying area open to hunting. See, I don't. I'm not. There are probably areas I would avoid if I lived in a place that was going on. There might be areas I would avoid during hunting season.
It probably is a safe bet, yeah.
Yeah. Country roads, though, as we were saying, are probably not something I would. Well, they're not. They're not anything I've ever avoided. But Dynamo is the best, but pricey. Love never having to worry about charging. Yeah, one of the things they talked about in the bike pack, it depends on what you're riding, too, and what the Dynamo is, because he was saying how, if you're doing tons of off-road climbing, you might not be going fast enough to get enough power out of the Dynamo for the light. But oh, you live in the Nordics, so dynamos make sense there because it'd be so cold your batteries die. For sure. When we go into eat in the winter when it's in the 20s, I bring my lights and my bike computer and everything inside with me because of the cold will kill the batteries so fast. But yeah, so that makes sense too. Another reason to use them. That's what I said. I don't use one, so I'm definitely not the expert on it. But yeah. What's up, David? Second, Brian, you said you had a surface headlight that runs on double A's for longer trips, and you don't do much nighttime riding. Yeah, in the winter, I'll actually bring two headlights on some bikes, on some nights because I'm leaving in the dark and getting back in the dark, and it's cold out, so kind of having a backup. I've already got bags on my bike, so the extra room isn't an issue. But yeah, Khalil, yeah. Thing with phones is they don't last long running GPS like bike computers do, for sure. Oh, yeah. Nick also talking about just battery life of phones versus how cold does it have to be for me not to ride? I went out for a short ride at 11 degrees Fahrenheit last year, so I wasn't going to ride far. So I always say, like, once it's in the low 20s, the teens, I usually have about an hour, hour and a half in me. So I'll ride in about anything, but I just ride less far. I'm not crazy about it once it starts getting below 25, but I'll do it. So if you love highway traffic, you'll love the Pacific Coast routes. Now, I definitely, if I was going to California, I probably wouldn't be planning on as much road riding. I would road ride, but I'd be planning gravel routes out there. So David said you use FreeStrive on your phone, but it stays in your pocket or frame bag. Well, but if you need a route, that doesn't do you any good. I mean, you could use the audio to route, but yeah. I like a little map. Gary said cold riding until there is ice. Yeah, I mean, I ride with my studded tires. I mean, I don't want to be on pure ice or anything like that, but slush and snow don't stop me from riding with just studded tires. So yeah, people love the bar mitts and pogies. Said this last year and got it wrong.
Got raped.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to be honest. I found that I prefer just wearing like lobster gloves with some wool gloves underneath, like the Defeat ones. I do have some like bar mitts, and not that I know people swear by them. I found the warmth to be the same, with different kinds, but that's just me. I know people love bar mitts. So one thing I really do like about the bar mitts is someone who needs to operate a GoPro. or if you do want to grab your phone because you need to get a hold of someone, and you even have light gloves underneath, it's so much easier to do that kind of stuff. But I ended up going back to just riding with like the lobster, where it's just split here with, and then however many layers I need underneath them. So, no, definitely no bourbon tonight. I think it'll be a little while before we have a stream like that again, until Brad comes on again.
Pogies.
That was a little out of hand.
Pogies.
How did they say?
Pogies.
Pogies?
Pogies.
Pogies.
It's just an infinite loop.
Oh, nice. A Bianchi. The Motobacan I got today is in kind of the Bianchi color, which is super cool. So,
Chuck Rogers super chatted $1.99.
is the Garmin 830, is that the solar? I know one thing that saves, I know especially with the Garmin's, if you don't have the map screen on, people say the battery lasts a lot longer. But people are getting that incredible life out of the new Garmin Solars too. So I charge them every night. If we're on a bike tour, I plug them into a battery. I bring a couple power banks, but I'm charging GoPros. I want to make sure my cameras are charged. Don't want my phone to die. I don't mind bringing the power banks I need. So, but yeah, that's awesome. You did Unbound XL, by the way. That's the main takeaway here. So, I think definitely, if I was someone who was going out to do the Tour Divide and all kinds of things like that, then there would be all kinds of different considerations on what my gear would look like. But we kind of go on more casual trips, and the one more off the grid one we did in Michigan, just made sure I had the right amount of power. So. Oh wow, Khalil said you don't ride anything less than 50. Oh yeah, I rode less than, it was only 44 degrees today. So yeah, definitely ride cooler than that. So. Oh yeah, I've seen some of the videos about like the relative drag of dynamos. It seems pretty irrelevant for most things, in my opinion. I think I watched that last year when we were talking about dynamos on the live stream, but it's like, what, even the worst dynamo is like 4 or 5 watts, right? Slowing you down. Pat Styles, you said you mountain biked in snow at 0 degrees and you decided that would be your record. Yeah, 0 is cold. Single digits are cold. We've done really short things, like even we do a Christmas ride every year, and I know one year it had to be close to single digits, but we just didn't go very far. I have some better gear for that now too. I've got a nicer down jacket and all that, but there's a point where it's just not fun. It's, you're doing it to do it, and there's almost whatever, why. For me, and again, we don't get those temperatures that often, so on the day when it does get below 20 degrees, if I don't want to ride, I don't have to. And plus, it just doesn't get as cold as it used to. Those are now more freak, like when the weather comes straight from Canada. So yeah, modern dynamos are way better than the bottle generator. Just, yeah, Vans are not going to work when it's cold. So I wore my Vans today. I think it was actually 41 when I left, about 44 when I got back. And my ride was only about an hour and a half, so I was fine, but I wore really nice merino, the thickest merino socks I have, and then I loosened my shoes as much as I could. It's one thing we've talked about a number of times, but it's always worth noting, if you pack your feet into the shoes, no matter how much insulation, if there's not room for air, you're not actually insulating anything. You need to be heating some air in there. So don't stuff your feet in. You're making it worse. But yeah, so you definitely need something better. I don't have anything great, but I have a pair of 510s that are winter 510s that do pretty well. I don't know why that reminded me. Where's the cat?
Haven't seen him.
He didn't come down here tonight? He's going to sleep upstairs this whole time instead of on my lap, and then when I'm ready to go to bed, he's going to be bonkers.
That's what I was just looking at. Winter cycling shoes. Are those legit? Or like overshoes?
Oh, yeah, but since I run flat pedals, overshoes don't work for me. because you'll tear them up on the pins.
Mm-hmm.
So there's two different things of advice when you talk about winter riding is what kind of do you ride flat pedals or do you ride clipless? Clipless has totally different options than flat pedals do. But speaking of Vans, they do make a winter shoe that I know Otis, the owner of Dirty River, really likes. And he keeps trying to give me some of his winter boots that he's not using anymore that are for cycling, but his feet are so much bigger than mine. And I'm just like, dude, they don't work for me. Like, this is great. And even sometimes they'll try and sell them at half price, I'm like, they just don't fit me, so. -4. Yeah, that's below where I'm heading, so.
And they're kind of ugly.
Yeah. Thanks, Chuck. I don't know if I saw that, so. Without the audio cues, but waterproof hiking shoes that block wind well in the winter. Yeah, my 510s were originally waterproof, and they're my winter shoes. And basically, I feel like, and what I'll do with the 510s that are like I said, they're winter waterproof, slightly insulated. I'll wear a nice heavier wool sock, and then like one of my summer socks is kind of a liner. If that's not enough to keep my feet warm for at least an hour ride, then it's colder than I need to be riding at. So it's kind of just where I'm at on that, Yeah, Nick asked about keeping your chin and nose warm. I don't like having anything on my face. They make all kinds of different things. My brother gave me a face cover thing. I rode with it in like 22 degrees last year, and I stopped 2 miles in and took it off. I just don't like it. I definitely have some stuff that I like. It could be these bandanas, but I have like specific over the head things that you kind of pull up to here. And then last year I bought a Better 45 North cap that Large Marge recommended. That kind of comes over the forehead more and tighter around the face, but I do not like having my face covered, so I don't have any good recommendations. I wear glasses. I'm not a glass wearer, but I wear clear glasses to keep it off my eyes. What I find is when it's really cold, low 20s, teens, the first mile or two just suck. I feel it on my cheeks, my nose hurts, my forehead hurts a little bit, and then it goes away no matter how cold it is. I'm wearing enough other clothes that I could get warmed up, so. Good night, Cassidy. Have a good night. What's up, Dennis? Beard does work well. I was thinking of clean shave, like I just shave my beard clean once in a while, and we have temperatures in the 20s coming this weekend, and now I'm like, maybe I just trim the beard, because beards do help, so. Is there any way to get a heat map on Oahu? I don't think so. But Wahoo's just like a very basic mapping thing, so the actual app is really good for mapping, but you could also, like I said, transfer anything from Strava or anywhere else over.
Khalil Reedy super chatted $20.
Have another
Love
super
your
chat.
videos. I am a full-on roadie, but love watching your videos and craft beers. I am originally from the Northeast, but have become soft in SoCal. Keep
Hey,
making
thanks
fun
so much.
content.
Wow, this is
Smiley face.
This is a real Thanksgiving stream right here. We gotta like I said, we can't hear it, but I could read it. So yeah, thank you. From the Northeast, but I've become a softie in Southern California. Yeah, my friend Wes, who lived in Long Beach for a while, he said Southern California is overcrowded, but when he lived there, and he was like, "There's a reason." So it's because it's awesome. So. It's South Texas, Orlando, what's snow? Yeah. We're starting to ask that question around here, though. David said, back when you were much younger and stupid, you did a Sub-Zero century. Ah, damn. And I assume we're all talking Fahrenheit when we talk Sub-Zero, but stopped in every Dunkin' Donuts. Bike Breath said, digging the salsa toque makes me miss my old Warbird. I know the Warbird. I'm not sure I know what this is. This a newer salsa? Can I highlight it and paste this? instead of popping it up on the screen. Off the top of my head, that doesn't sound familiar. It's just showing me a dance. Is that what you're talking about? Are you seeing this? Wait, let me put this up here. This is what it's showing me. Videos of salsa. I'll add bike to that. Bing search. That's right. There it is. No?
Is that toque as in like beanie?
Torque. Missed a word? Just missed a word? No? What's going on here, Bike Breath? Winter pearl boots. Maybe a toe warmer if it's in the teens or lower. I found that I've never had room for toe warmers in my situation and that they didn't heat up. So, but if you have big enough boots and you have space for them, I would get that. Crank Brothers, egg beaters, and neoprene toe covers work. Yeah. I ride pedals with pins again, just so everyone knows that. So anything that goes over the shoe won't work for me because I would just tear it up. But oh. Yeah, I know a lot of people like goggles. They cover more. People even wear ski goggles for riding in the cold. Like I said, I do fine with just my good or clear glasses. And, yeah, it's just what I go with. Because before my face would be my limiting factor, my fingers and toes would. So. Donald said, I find that gaiters on the neck and face are very adjustable. I agree. And you could have more and you could pull them up and down. I like that better. I don't want something that is stuck on my face. For sure. Yeah. What's up, Robert? Carry an extra pair of wool socks. You can cap your toes over the shoes with them. Then use them later in a socks change. Yeah. Again, I wouldn't do that because I would ruin them on the pedals that I ride. But the idea of extra socks, too, if you think you might get damp, even from sweating, is never a bad idea. And something that I do once in a while, depending on what I'm out, how long I'm out for. What's up, Kenny? Said you've heard about the live streams, found the channel, and dig what I do. Mostly into mountain biking, but I've gotten into gravel the past year. Nice. Welcome. Matt asked, how do I feel the live stream bike ride went? It went okay, but the problem was when my Osmo Pocket 3 disconnected, I didn't have a way to mount my phone, so I held it. So holding a phone to shoot the camera is not ideal, but I bought a mount since then. So I'm going to do it again. Like one of the things I was saying is Terry B's been live streaming almost every day, and since I got the whole idea from him, I don't like the idea of live streaming at the same time. Not that I would take that many viewers from him. His channel's way bigger, as it should be, but I just don't like it. So I'm going to do it a little more. We're getting into winter, so I don't think I'll do it too much when it's cold, but yeah, I feel like there's a few things that didn't go well that I now have ironed out, and a few more that I'm working on. And there's a Discord also for Moblin, the app I'm using, so I've been just reading everything in that as people talk about it. So gonna do it again. Gonna do it more. It might be more in the spring, but yeah, we'll see. It's fun. It's fun to go out for a ride and be able to chat with you guys. Oh, my beanie. Oh, is that a Canadian word for a hat?
Toque. Yeah.
Toque?
That's what I thought he meant.
Yeah. It is a salsa. This I got this when Otis did the Otis Roubaix. I think Salsa gave him some giveaway stuff. And he had the box, and I was the first to get over there. I'm like, That salsa hat is mine. and I
You threw
wear-
me off with the warbird though, so I
Yeah, the
wasn't
warbird.
too sure.
You did. Yeah, you did say a bike, so that's fair. It's fair that I was thrown off on that. But I also never heard that word in my life.
Really?
Yeah.
No, it's
Say it again. Toque.
toque. It's what
Toque.
the Canadians call a winter cap.
Ah, so beanie. The equivalent of a beanie, would you say?
Yeah.
Large Marge on the top of your head. Just drive a car, you bum. Michael Stark said, in East Texas, it's layers all year until summer. Yeah, I want to get a wool neck gaiter. I feel like that would be totally worth it. Mine's a Rafa one because it's EF, their team edition. As you guys know, some of you know I'm an EF nerd, but I would like to get an actual wool one. That would be really nice because my caps are all wool except the real cold weather one that I was talking about that Large got me into. Jay Dandy said neck gaiter works for you from 50 down to 25. I probably don't get into them until below freezing because most of my, like, even I'm wearing a base layer for my ride earlier and this has neck coverage. And then I wear that surly wool that zips up to like right underneath my chin. So I don't start wearing them and then I wear them over that. Probably till below freezing for me, I would say. But everyone's so different with that. It doesn't mean and again, like, it's everyone's cold tolerances and where they're cold are so different, so there's no cold shaming here. Michael Robinson, what's up? You said you find that toe warmers work well in the sleeping bag but not in the shoes. Me and Dylan were talking about on the tour why we didn't bring any of those because we had like decent days and cold nights. It would have limited probably some of the stuff. They would have been really nice to have in the bottom of my sleeping bag when we were camping on Long Island, but thick wool is best for your ride. You live full time on your bike and know all too well if it's just too cold. It's just too cold to ride. Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, I thick wool. That's my number one, especially for socks. And like I said, I'll even though wear sometimes like a summer sock is kind of a liner, but definitely go to Southern California. It certainly is awesome. Yeah, to me it's always time and money, but I was talking to Aaron about how I feel like we need to start planning for a winter vacation instead of a summer vacation. I think I said that in one of my videos, but summer's awesome around here, you know? And you could go to Michigan and you go to Pennsylvania and West Virginia and all these other beautiful places real close. The time I want to really get out of here is, winter. That's when I want to go to Arizona or California or, a Canadian word, huh? Robert said, also consider coating your feet, toes especially, with bag balm. Oh, is that like a sauce? I feel like I wouldn't want anything on my feet though, like getting my socks and stuff all sticky. I totally get it on the face. Are you familiar with this, Dave? Bag balm? Got it up here.
Never heard of it.
We need to next week also start doing this earlier so we can make it so you could pull the stuff up on here, like we were saying, through the internet.
Oh, we did figure that out, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Then your feet would be all greasy.
I wouldn't want it on my feet. That's but I could see why don't people even do just like Vaseline on their face and stuff in the winter? Don't like skiers and shit do that?
Wouldn't that be like a chilling effect in the cold too?
Well, not like Vicks Vapo Rub. Is that what you're thinking?
Yep.
Wait, is this the animal version? Why is it on Chewy? Why am I a Chewy? For paw hot spots. I'm in the wrong thing.
That's what he said.
He did say bag balm, but I'm on some animal product. Buff makes a nice wool gaiter. Is Buff a name brand?
Yes.
Like when people say a buff, wearing a buff, that's a name brand? Huh. I never knew that. Wow. Learn something new every day. Oh, nice. Another EF nerd. Whoops. Sorry. Yeah, Kenny, it's funny because I didn't used to consider winter riding, and then the more I got into riding, I'm like, I need to figure this out, and it was really Otis at Dirty River who initially started to get me on the right track to be able to ride in the winter, and now, yeah, like I said, I'll definitely sit it out some days. I'm not feeling it. I think even yesterday it wasn't even that cold. It was just a gray, miserable day. I'm like, I have some time to go for a ride, and I'm like, I don't feel like it. I don't have to, but I do want to ride all winter. And I've said this before too. Some of the snow rides on a bike trail where there's like 2, 3 inches of snow out there, and say the moon's out, you don't even need your headlight. Nobody else is out there. They could be some of my favorite rides, like super fun and peaceful. You know, in general, give me the summer, but I think there is some cool things about winter riding. Jeffrey said a pair of early 2000s AXO mountain bike shoes that are great for winter riding. Are those for flat pedals? AXO. I don't know AXO. Do you?
It does ring a bell.
Look, they look like they're more like clipless, are they? I just clicked on them. These could be their new version, not like the old ones you're talking about. But oh, those look like early 2000s. Would they still make something that looks like that? As you guys probably know, I'm not the most versed on mountain bike stuff. I go mountain biking, but I don't have any like mountain biking specific gear, including a modern mountain bike. Velcro though, that was so. Do they still do that in mountain bikes? These all look like 90s, early 2000s. Yeah, like that.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah. Do I have those vintage Specialized shoes sitting around here I bought that I was hoping I could use, but just didn't work. They're definitely that kind of style.
You kind of moved everything around.
I was using them to like hold down stuff for a while. They're pretty sweet. I need to get them in someone's hands who's gonna wear them. They're
Right over here.
the kids say sick. Oh yeah. These are
Your next giveaway.
Yeah, this should be our next competition. Check these things out. What are these mountain bike shoes, by the way? Are these cross shoes? I feel like if they were cross, they would need more a different kind of tread up there. You know, that's not going to be good in wet mud. But these got to be mountain bike shoes, right? Yeah. Yeah, I bought them online. Thought they might work in my. They just didn't work for me. But they're not good for winter, by the way. So. Yeah, that said lanolin, by the way, Robert. But well, let's see. We got a super chat coming through.
Standy super chatted $1.99. May not want to search for bag balm before 10 p.m. Banana, mooncake.
Thanks, JD. Originally for udders, farmers use it on cows' udders during milking. Wow. Interesting. Bag balm is the bomb, pun intended. Yeah, William LeBron, I think every single friend of mine wears the wool 45 North cap. That's what I was wearing today when I was riding. I have two of them now, so I could rotate them because I wear them so much. But yeah. Oh, it is? Okay, so it's for animals, but people use it too. Thrifty Frame Builder said, I like the normal synthetic buffer neck warmer. When your face gets cold, you can pull it up and breathe through it. I just hate the moisture. I hate the moisture of breathing through something. No matter what it is, it's going to be damp. But again, personal opinions. Huh. Bag balm. Something new. Yeah, that's right. Swimmers, don't they? Yeah, they cover themselves in that shit.
And bag balm?
I think it's just Vaseline, right? I don't know about this bag balm. A couple people are mentioning it though, so you know, it's not just Robert talking about bag balm. And they sell it on Chewy. What? How do they describe it? Hang on. Safe for your fur, baby. This moisturizer is uniquely crafted to discourage licking, and it has no added fragrance. I don't want to discourage licking, though. uh, I use bag balm on my fingers for winter fly fishing. Let that sink in. Nice.
I don't get the concept here. If it's just moisturizer, wouldn't you want like what's that stuff like you put on your sore joints where it's hot and cold?
Icy hot?
Yeah.
You're gonna put icy hot
Yeah,
on
then
and go out bike riding?
Then your toes are all warm.
Ah, no way. Icy hot's like a muscle like relaxer.
Yeah,
type
but
thing.
it burns. Be out there in flip flops.
Like I keep going back to, I just think there's nothing. Wouldn't Vaseline be the thing if you're gonna put anything on yourself to like block your skin, right? Alpaca gear is excellent. Yeah. Well, oh wait, I have an old set of specialized 99 specialized team shoes that are the bee's knees. Nice. Yeah, I've definitely heard of that, Jason. I've never tried any of it. People like seal skin too, right? Gary said, I also use 15-year-old Shimano mountain shoes for winter riding. Blocking wind is key. Blocking wind is definitely key, but I feel like I still need more insulation from my shoes than just what my socks will give me once we're down into the 20s. So, if you search any of my winter videos, Trek Winter Bike or anything, you'll see the 510s I have. I'm sure I talk about them a million times.
Uh-oh.
What?
Chat disconnected for a second.
Yeah, then it reconnected. It's done it twice tonight. I don't know why. Joe B said, got one last bike ride in before it drops into the 20s here. Where are you at, Joe? Yeah, because we have lows in the 20s coming up over the weekend. Me and Aaron went to the hardware store and I bought a bunch of straw to kind of try and see how much of some of the plants I wanted to try and insulate the hops I grew this year and the new rose bush and all that stuff. But tonight's going to be, I think, the first night below freezing, right? I think 31's the low.
We've been hovering around the
Yeah.
last couple nights.
My flowers in the pots on the porch are still have flowers on them.
Really?
But I think tonight will be
They're pretty covered.
yeah. That covers them from frost, but a freeze is a freeze. Once we
Right.
start to get in the 20s, they'll be done. Yeah, one thing about overdressing, I never used to overdress. Like, I would always dress for what I needed to be at, like a few miles in. So I'd be cold as hell for the first 2 miles and then comfortable. Now I will go out with like an extra layer on, stop and take it off, which is just probably, I don't know. It's either way. I'm going to carry extra layers for something happening like a flat tire or mechanical or, whatever the case may be. Needing a bailout, I almost always ride with my down jacket now in the bag or something extra. But if you're going to stop on your ride, you definitely do not want to get sweaty when it's really cold. That's something to really guard against. That's what merino wool is good for and some of the synthetics. But I am very mindful of trying to keep dry. And like I said, me and my friends, we ride out and get dinner, then ride back. And so if you're just going for a ride, that's where you can wear like all kinds of normal bike kit and stuff like that. It's a workout. Like, when I used to run, wore way less clothes because I wasn't going to be stopping anywhere. But how did I get past all these? Another more bang balm. Angora's favorite skull cap. Yeah. It also depends on how hard you ride in the winter. You know, if you're going out for a hard ride, obviously you're going to have way less on. That's why you see roadies wearing roadie clothes in the winter. They're just going out to hammer, and then you could have way less clothes on. If you're going out to have a social ride, you're going to be. That's when you could throw on the heavier coats and unzip them when you need to, right? Bag ball kind of sounds like an embrocation from your cyclocross days that you put on your legs. Embrocation. Do you know what that means?
I do.
What does it mean?
Hold on.
Still learning. ChatGPT could have hooked me up faster than this.
Well, see, now I'm all confused.
Tell me what you think it is.
From what I was reading, it's I don't want to say it's like icy hot, but yeah, it like constricts or does whatever with the blood vessels and blah blah blah. It's like a ointment cream.
So alcohol does that too.
But then what I'm reading here is like a chamois cream. I don't know, but I think I'm right. I would just use Bengay or something like that.
Bengay. That's not the right. No, that's not the same concept at all. Bag balm's been around. Good for saddle sores too. Vapor rub. Bill Burns said kind of gross bag balm. Ice hot to keep warm. Kelly said used to put Vaseline on the legs to keep for cold temps back in the 90s, but seriously just get heavier winter gear. That's the same. Yeah, I mean that's what I'm gonna do now. But what I do. Traditionally, swimmers for the English Channel use tallow or whale oil to insulate their skin from cold water. Vaseline is made from petroleum. Yeah, that is true. Vaseline is a petroleum product. Joel, depends on the thickness of the wool socks. But I do wear thick wool into the. I mean that's what I wear all the time. But down into the teens, that's what I got going on. Jason said seal skins, I believe, are more of a brand than an actual seal skin. I think there's both. I think there is a brand, but I think there are like seal skin gloves and stuff like that that's actually just the noun. Large Marge said winter embrocation is definitely a thing. Huh. Oh, Joe, you're in the northeast Ohio, right off the Ohio to Erie. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we'll see how much 20s we get. We didn't get a lot last year. I mean, we had that super cold. Like I said, I made a video about it riding at 11 degrees, but we did not have a lot of 20-degree weather last year. So, yeah, sweating when it's freezing is the thing to avoid. Coat your nose, ears, toes, cheeks, and fingers. Then insert those into high-end REI-based merino wool. Then report back. All right. Do they sell sample packs of bag balm? I don't want a whole tin of bag balm. This looks like, well, how much does it cost? It's $8 from Chewy.
I wonder if you could get like a numbing cream.
A
Just
numbing-
avoid it altogether.
That numbing cream's a horrible. You're getting frostbite everywhere, but you can't feel it.
Hey.
Yeah, just take animal tranquilizers. You'll have no idea you're cold. Like the Russians, they die in like
That was one of the Google searches. Is this horse ointment good for humans? Apparently, they use it in like the gym, like the MMA, like boxing and stuff. Using the horse tranquilizers.
What is that drug people used to take that's a horse tranquilizer? Remember hearing about it back in my.
It is a thing. See, Castelli has. Am I saying that right?
Castelli? Yeah.
Yeah.
Italian brand.
Foul weather cream.
Foul weather cream. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, Greg, I agree with that still. If you go out for a ride and you're comfortable in the cold before you get on the bike, you're dressed too warm. You're just going to be, yeah, you're just going to be peeling layers almost instantly once you, unless you live at the top of a hill and you have to go downhill for a while first. That is something that I do think about sometimes. We'll leave like a bar in certain spots in Kent and have to go down Main Street for a while and there's no climbs for a little bit and we go down by the river. That's one of those times where I don't mind having to stop a little later to peel off a layer. So, too many L words with 2 syllables. Oh, I've been on Top Chat this whole time. Wonder if I've been missing. You didn't see me miss anything, really, have you?
No, not really. It really hasn't been any.
Sealskin's waterproof, breathable socks under a pair of oversized shoes are the best solution for cold, wet rides. Definitely buy your winter shoes bigger than they should be, as I mentioned. So, underdressed for the first 15 minutes, overdressed for the next 2.5 hours. Yeah.
That's definitely one thing I know from skiing and snowboarding. That when your foot's not moving, it falls, or your boot's too tight.
Oh, yeah. They'll definitely put Embro anywhere. Oh, don't put Embro anywhere near your chamois area. Gotcha. John Span, what's up, man? He said embrocation was used to keep legs warm without tights warmers. Usually has a warming agent that makes you feel warmer. Again, isn't that dangerous? Because your skin, if you're going out and it's just making you feel warm, but your skin's exposed, isn't that a bad idea compared to something that's really blocking the wind, like the whale fat or whatever else we were talking about? I think.
See, I thought that stuff it did something with like the blood vessels. So like,
Yeah. Oh, it's actually
you're getting the
is
sense,
putting
but
off-
it actually is doing
is putting
like
off
blood
body.
flowing to it
Yeah.
or something like that. I'm not a scientist.
Oh,
And again, then at that point, just drink a few drinks and you'll be all right.
Yeah. Robert Graves says ketamine is the horse tranquilizer I was thinking of. Anyways. Little worried to go on local trail ride when it drops below freezing. The recommendations on layers, yeah, last year was, like I said, I'm all about the merino wool layers. This is what I was wearing when I rode today. I'm wearing merino wool tights with jeans. I know some people don't want to ride with jeans, but whatever. Put whatever else you want over them. And then I have a surly wool that's thicker that I wear over this, and then a windbreaker, something to block the wind. If I'm even colder than that, I have a vest that's down that would go on next. Yeah, layers. Just keep layering up. I like the merino stuff. Like I said, if you do break a little bit of a sweat, it dries fairly quickly, but also it doesn't stink after a couple times, so you don't have to wash it all the time, so your winter clothes are not constantly in the wash. But yeah, all about layering up with the merino wool. It's not cheap, but if you are going to ride when it's cold, it's worth it.
You like a tight base layer or a looser base layer?
Reasonably tight. So this is not like skin tight. You can see there's some wrinkles in there, but I do need my base layer to be tight so the next layer has that gap, which, like I said, would be my surly wool. But Thrifty said, you've got a 30-plus mile group ride on Friday. Forecast is a high of 19. We'll be wearing a six-pack sweater by the end of it. What's a six-pack? Oh, six-pack sweater. I got it.
Think about it.
Yeah, be doing 12-ounce curls. You know, Bill Burns, there was a really good video that what YouTube channel just put out, Waterproof and Breathable is not possible. It's possible, just not at the same time. It was a really interesting video about how it's been a whole myth with Gore-Tex and waterproof rain jackets, because how the moisture level needs to be different on both sides. So if it's actively raining, it's not breathable. If it's dry out, it is breathable. And there's been a whole myth about that. Bike Radar. Check it out, guys. If you don't follow Bike Radar on YouTube, it's mostly Lean's roadie, but once in a while they do something really interesting. And their latest video, I think it's their latest video, came out last week on breathable rain gear was really, really an interesting thing to hear about. Something that's totally makes sense when you hear it, but we've just been sold the myth of breathable rain gear. I always talk about that. When it's warm, I don't bring rain gear for day rides. The rain gear is going to be warmer than just getting wet from the rain. I'll get sweatier than I would from just getting wet. Rain gear for me, even when it's like mid temperatures, is mostly for like say we're bike packing and staying dry at camp. But yeah, like I said, I have merino wool and a couple other things to insulate when they're wet, and that's kind of the route I go. But yeah, that's a good point and really interesting. Like I said, check out that bike radar video. Ketamine, the drug of choice for the Mazzy Stars band. Huh. Maybe I'll have to try it. I'm a huge fucking Mazzy Star fan. I'm not trying ketamine for the record, but I am a huge Mazzy Star fan. I could see why a tranquilizer would make sense for the best shoegaze band of all time. Have to try alpaca. Yeah, I have heard about it, but I've just never never tried it. Yeah, that's the same thing. Yeah, merino is bike ride beats. Also great in summer. I've switched. Now I have a bunch of pairs. I've been like slowly building merino wool boxers, and they're great for bike tours. Again, with the whole thing, like I was saying about how you could wear them multiple days. Now I kind of, if it's going to be a warm bike packing trip or just a long day ride, I'm all about the merino underwear now as well. Merino is great as just like the merino style t-shirts too. Again, very expensive, but just the way they dry and you just don't feel gross in them is awesome. So for sure, 100%. Like the whole idea of breathable is something that's waterproof can be breathable, just not at the same time, which is the huge misconception, I believe. Which means you're spending a lot of money on something that's not doing what you believe it's going to do, basically. You could just get something that is waterproof and then not wear it when you don't need to. But oh, really? Jason said, love merino, and then when you tried alpaca, you're crazy how much of a difference there was. I will have to look into something, because I'm always down to try something different. Mazzy Stars, the band. Yeah, the first record, She Hangs Brightly, is one of my favorite records of all time. So, easily. Yeah, just we always say this too. Every year, I feel like I not completely forget how to do it because I have the gear and I know what I'm going to put on. But it's just amazing. Plus, and I've talked about this in the last few videos, like the acclimating is different. So like when I went out for my ride today, I was wearing the same amount of layers for the most part that I'll wear when it's 30 degrees in February. So I'll be so much more acclimated, except with the gloves. I would have worn warmer gloves. But besides that, like my layers were pretty much the same. And then in spring, it'll be the opposite. I'll be wearing so much less than, I'm wearing this time of year. So. Thanks, Farley. Oh, what's up, Farley? I don't know if I noticed you were in here tonight yet. Sealskins brand is actually Sealskins. Got a pair of winter-ready Adidas Velo Sambas, insulated but pretty tight, which isn't the best. If you haven't worn them yet, or worn them much yet, I would send them back for a bigger size, because they just aren't going to do you much good if you don't have space in there. No, I 100% agree. I hope you don't think I'm arguing with you. Accurex. Never been able to say that. John, I have not done the rain cape review because I have not ridden in the rain with it yet. I thought last Wednesday was going to be the time, and then it stopped raining right when we went for our bike ride. I spent all that time putting the fenders on the gunner, and was like, here we go. And then it stopped raining. I'm still glad I had the fenders on because the roads were wet, but no need to wear the rain cape. So that'll happen soon. And then the last few times it's been raining, I just haven't felt like riding my bike. So yeah, Christopher Webb. Yep. Off the second album, which I like too, but still like first Mazzy Star record the best. Robert said, I'm wearing an awesome alpaca poncho as I watch. Stuff is awesome. Are you sitting out in like the pouring rain with like a cover on your laptop? Just like toughing it out? I was saying to Ben that I'm back into the, what do you call bushcraft videos now that it's getting cold. I've started to watch a little bit of Outdoor Boys, but last night, I don't know what it was. The algorithm started to feed me different ones, and a lot of them sucked. But I was watching some tiny cabin videos and inflatable hot tenting videos.
You watch that one guy who's like only out in the cold and like digging the
barely talks.
No, he talks a lot. He's like he's by himself. He'll stay the night, but he digs out like a cavern in like some ridiculous snowdrift.
Are you sure that's Outdoor Boys guys does
Is that Outdoor
too?
Boys?
But he does all kinds of, he has kids and sometimes he does like family stuff. But once
I've only seen him. He's
he
like a
makes the
middle-aged,
snow
like
blocks.
kind of half bald,
He's in
taller dude.
He's in Alaska. He does like he makes those blocks to kind of like he'll sometimes build.
Maybe it's. I'll have to.
It might be the same guy. Yeah, those are the videos I started watching by him, and I only like watching them when it's cold out. I don't want to see this shit in the summer. And he has all kinds of summer content too, and he goes like travels does all kinds of cool stuff. But I just don't care. I only when it's cold. I don't know.
Yeah, that's him.
Yeah. We were talking. Remember last year we were talking about this, and the dude from Common Birds, the band, was in here, and he was like, "I've watched a million bushcraft videos, but I still probably couldn't start a fire to save my life." Definitely, Gary M. Buy it once. I always say this about like expensive cycling gear. Sometimes people are like, "I would never." Like, why would I buy that? I could get a budget. Because you save money by buying better stuff. Not across the board. There's stuff that's overpriced. But also looking for sales in the off season. I am all about that. I do that all the time. Like, that's what if I want something and I'm thinking for next winter, I'll think like over the winter, I really want this. I'll wait till the spring. That's how I got like such a deal. I think I got like $150 off of my Rafa down jacket. So. But yeah, I think I was also watching on the live stream, Terry Berenson was talking about his winter Rafa bibs that are like super insulated. I think he said they were $600. And he's like, I can't remember how many years he was saying he's had them for. He's like, but there's not a thread out of place. He's like, they're the warmest thing I own, and there's not a thread out of place. He's like, I'm going to own them for another 10 years, you know. You just have to calculate some of that stuff into the expense. That's the problem with merino. Even the good stuff is going to wear out. What they do with like the socks and some of the like tights, they reinforce them with synthetics in like high wear areas. But yeah, to be 100% like merino, you're still going to, that's what's kind of a bummer about it. Some of it is still going to get ruined no matter how nice it is. This is a brand called Thermowave. They're an Eastern European country, and they reached out to me about if I wanted to be a, have a, what's the link where you guys buy through my link and then I make money? Affiliate. And then I was like, well, I don't do anything I haven't worn. And then they sent me a bunch of stuff, and it's awesome. I really like it. It feels really high quality, and wore it all last winter and so far this late fall and stuff. And this stuff feels like it's going to last a little better than any of the other stuff I have. Even the Smart Wool stuff, I feel like this is a little higher quality. But still, merino, anything like that will wear. So. Rock Eastwood said breathable. So bag balm and Crocs. Sounds like the way to go this winter. I love that idea. Yeah, just bag balm in summer, just my bathing suit and a tank top. Yeah, I think Bill Burns, one of the biggest things to me about the merino stuff is keeping you warm when you're wet. I've told the story a million times, and there's a video about it, but me and Ben did a credit card tour of Connecticut after Nutmeg one year, and the one whole day, it was literally a nor'easter, and I wore shorts and like nicer, like kind of like a 3D weave tight of merino wool, and they were awesome. And then I wore them at higher ground last year, which I think was like 43 degrees and rainy, and kept my legs warm the whole time. I was soaked. Had my rain jacket on, but after a while, you get warm, you unzip it a little, zip it up, and downpours. I was wet all the way through, but just being covered in merino, I stayed fine as long as I was moving. There was one really long descent that was miserable, but yeah. Oh, the chat picked back up. I was almost caught up there for a while. What time is it, too? 9:45. 15 minutes to try and get through the chat. Think it'll stop. One of my favorite merino wool products is Tank Base Layer. Good when it warms up, especially good when it gets cold because it insulates your core. Yeah. Also, if you use a Greenland wax, waterproof where you apply it. Not familiar with that, yeah. Donald said, my layering motto is 1 extra breathable layer for each 10 degrees below 50. Yeah, I can see that. Tim, try the rain cape in the cold. Yeah, I will. That'll probably be the first time it gets used. But I think that's kind of my goal now is to, we get a cold day, and it's raining. Like, it'll be a reason to force myself to get out and make a video about it. So. When it's real cold, Gore-Tex works the best. The rest of the time, you regret buying it. You can also save a lot of money by getting merino items from used clothing stores or buying them cheap at the store that are not particularly bike-centric. Yeah, I do that. And there's a couple brands to have, like, build out my merino collection that are more of like the Amazon brands. Wool 365. I have some base layers, long sleeve with the thumb loops. I bought like 4 or 5 of theirs. It's a little more affordable. I do like to spend my money with brands I like. That Thermowave, like they actually own the farms where the sheep are. Sheep? Merino. Goats? Yeah.
Goats.
Goats. Goat wool. I don't know why my mind, I said sheep and then it sounded wrong. But, yeah. Yeah, same though. I mean, I'm not made of money, and I do supplement stuff with some of the cheaper stuff sometimes. But I try to spend my money with brands that I like, that are share my ideals, whatever. That's all up to you guys. MCQ Bushcraft. I'll look into that. Bad Bird Content said, old man used bag balm for 30 years ago to treat hands from exposure to industrial chemicals. Oh, Robert Graves is out in his yurt. What? My bandana failed me. Bandana's trying to get out of here. It's time to end this stream. Joe Robinette is one, but he complains the whole time. Yeah, that's not for me. Positive attitude on YouTube. Sometimes people say that about me. It's like, oh, you always seem so positive. And it's like, well, I'm not. I don't think anyone wants me to project a bunch of negativity out there in videos.
He doesn't post the negative streams.
Yeah. The whole thing with I didn't like. Oh wait, did we get another super chat that I didn't see? Must have. What the hell? Well, thanks, Bill. I appreciate it. I don't know why it didn't go through. I mean, it did go through, but why my fancy overlays didn't work. The thing with the fenders, if you're using them for commuter, leave it on. I found and this is another reason I want to make a whole video about fenders. When I had it on my winter bike and we would ride in the real cold and off-road stuff, they they froze up and jammed up with the snow, and I don't run them on that bike anymore. But yeah, like I said, I intend to, for next Monday, have a whole video about my opinions on all that kind of stuff. But I agree with that. Buy winter in the summer and summer in the winter. Yeah, bought cheap bib shorts because you weren't sure you were going to get addicted. Now that you're addicted, you want good stuff. Then and that's an art too. I mean, but what's the expression? You know, you don't want to throw good money after bad. But when you're just getting into something, that's something you do. I have some bike bags that I don't use anymore because they were cheap things, but the ones I replaced them with have been, stuff that lasts for a long time. Yeah, Thermalwave. Yeah, I just got an email from today. They have some great Black Friday deals. I should check it out again tomorrow. I think I might get some more of their stuff. So, David said your sealskin socks are 30 years old and still effective. Nice. No argument here. Gore-Tex really should have to explain their product and the statements they make. It's extremely deceiving. It's called a dry suit, but you get just as wet as a wetsuit. Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, I don't. I mean, brands are going to market their brands. I think the Bike Radar video made a really good point of reviewers have kind of fallen down on that, and the media hasn't really covered it as well as it should be. Had really good luck with breathable waterproof gear the last 2 years. So I'm not saying it's not good. I think the myth is that they do both at the same time, which is technically impossible. So is what the Bike Radar video was about. Not that there's no reason to ever buy any of that stuff, because it's also, killing two birds with one stone. When it's raining, it's keeping you dry. Then it stops raining and it's still chilly out. It can be breathable. So. Yeah, that's what I'm looking to find out, John Pot, because a lot of people were saying that. Me and Ben bought those rain capes. Well, I bought it based on the recommendations from you guys in the comments on the video about rain. So, get wet, stay wet. Huh. Doesn't have a great, so that your sealskin socks don't have a great fit in the toe box. Stitched in the middle sounds like a problem for cycling too. That is one thing with certain non-cycling specific gear you need to be careful about, especially tights. If they have seams in weird places, I had a pair of Smart Wool merino tights a few years ago, and I still wear them for other things, but I don't wear them for cycling because where the seams are. So that is always something to pay attention to. Anything that's going to be, socks, tights, anything that'll rub somewhere. Make sure if they're not cycling specific, they can still work well. Just make sure they don't have seams, Hugely profitable industry in Connecticut in the 1800s was merino wool, hence all the stone walls. Huh, interesting. Because it's mostly, like, a lot of it's Australia now, right? Isn't that where merino really, I guess this time around, really took off, I believe? Thanks. Jason? How cold does it get in Akron? That's kind of what we're talking about. I mean, it can get really cold, but the sustained, like, our cold winters have gone away with global warming. Like, they used to stay cold from December through March. Now it's very up and down. Last year we had single digit temperatures, but only one weekend really. So it could get negative here, but that's rare. So it'll be like a true weather pattern right from Canada. But so it's hard to answer how cold does it get in Akron. It's most our winter now is going to be 30s, but we'll have 20s overnights and stuff like that. But the weather pattern shifts. We could have a stretch even still now where it would stay in the 20s for a while in the teens. But it's not a good answer to that question. But coldest it'll get is what, -10? Like I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's pretty extreme. Yeah. You'll have, like you said, a weekend or a week stint where it's single digits, but that's something coming down from Canada.
So your smart wool was actually a sweaty hog wool? Sweat hog wool? I see you later, used bikes. Oh, nice, David. I've got a Swift frame bag on my way from Pudgy. he had one that he just never ended up really using, so I bought it off him. But he said last week on the stream he's going to wait till after Thanksgiving to send it because he might have some other goodies. So. John said, I also must add that I cycled more in a temperate climate, and yes, merino are Australian sheep. That's what I thought, so I was kind of, but it doesn't mean they couldn't have, I guess, imported some in the 1800s. So. Redline said, here in Michigan, Detroit, we had the cold, but it doesn't last like it has. Yeah, same. Detroit's definitely a little colder, but it's pretty similar to here. Will really depend on the pattern. It's a little farther north, but I mean, not that much. Arthur said last year was so mild there in Minnesota. Yeah. I also see that, I still see though, it seems like there's the groom fat bike trails in the northern part of Minnesota, and I still saw a lot of people look like they were riding those last year, but I'm sure your mild is different than our mild. Yeah, it snowed. So that night the Browns game was a Thursday night where it was snowing at the stadium. That didn't hit us till a little later, but it snowed all that night. It's just the ground's so warm from the warm fall that it just wasn't really sticking. Like the cars were covered in a little bit of snow, but even that was not much. So. Gary said your 30-year-old fleece mountain jacket has pit zips to vent. Yeah, and a lot of rain gear has that now, more venting as people are realizing you need that, which makes total sense. My Rafa rain jacket, the back has a big overlap with a vent on it, which makes total sense. So Arthur said, yeah, that's true. You think you're maybe 20 degrees colder in Minnesota. Let me see if I switch to the live chat now. Oh, that totally messed me up. Yeah, so a lot of, Cleveland will always get, well, not always. If the weather's from the north, Cleveland will get more snow because of the lake effect, and it has to come pretty far, pretty directly from the north, but we could get dumped on from lake effect down here too, so. Wish Detroit had the Minnesota snow bike scene. Yeah, I look at that and I'm like, it's cool because there's groomed trails and I'd probably own a fat bike. At the same time, I don't mind the milder temperatures, but I hate the 30 and 40 degree rain.
That's what it was all last year.
30 degree rain.
It would snow and then it'd be 3 days of rain.
Yeah. And I don't mean the actual temperature 30, I mean in the 30s. So 36 degrees and rain to me is the worst weather you can have. I would prefer 28 and snowy over 36 and rainy any day of the week. Because you could still do whatever you want. You go hiking. Yeah. Being outdoors in a cold rain is just, it's not, I hate it. So. Yeah, that's a good question. What are the brands that sell alpaca gear? Because, yeah, I see, even on our ride in Alliance, me and Aaron rode past an alpaca farm. So, Danny, what's up? He said, greetings from Denver, where the gloves have been out for a month already. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, snow over rain. Yeah, then if it rains and then freezes, you're right. Then the power lines break, and then everything becomes dangerous. It's hard to ride. It's hard to drive. It's hard. Yeah. We've had those. Remember that crazy winter when we worked at the car wash on Canton Road, where it rained really, really hard, and then it froze into the single digits, and then it stayed cold for that whole winter. Do you remember that, Dave? Everything was just covered in ice. The parking lot. Joseph finally said, go out and get rid of the ice, and we're out there with picks trying to break it up.
I remember something miserable like that.
You'd see people in their driveways hacking at it with all their rakes and stuff. It was, what winter was it? It would have been back in
that happened a few times through. I remember trying to get down to the ski resort. It had rained and then froze overnight, and 303 Hill was just
terrifying.
A complete sheet of ice, right?
Yeah, when it rains and then freezes really cold, that is so sketchy. All right, see you later, Madison. Happy Thanksgiving. So, our Thanksgiving weather's looking horrible. It looks like we're gonna have that kind of like cold rain.
Speaking
Exactly
of
that.
mid-30s and rainy.
Yeah, mid-30s and rain, cold overnight. I usually play football on Thanksgiving morning. If it's raining at like 34 degrees, it's going to be a short game for me. It's going to be a hopping out of the car, catching the ball a couple times and saying, I kept the tradition alive. Now I'm going. So, or let's jump in my front seat and drink a beer. Oh, Jason said, Classic Alpaca is the brand. Pack of socks made in Peru. Oh, wait. Made in Peru. Heavy boot is the Mosul? They're like slippers. They are thick but amazing at $16. Yeah. Classic Alpaca is the brand. Let's see it. I know there's a little typo in there, but oh, they even sell just the yarn from it. Oh, model, gotcha. Oh, just give one of these tiny little up. I think we want to look at closing. Where's like, do they show like winter products? These are like people dressing like. They don't have a way to sort this. This is definitely not the riding gear we're looking for. See what they're. Okay, ski and snowboard socks. Got it.
Does it always knock like that?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Have any bike builds in the works? No, because the weather hasn't been that bad yet, but that's the plan. So I got a couple things to look at. I was also thinking, like I said, I was going to show a couple vintage bikes tonight, but it didn't get set up in time. We were doing other things. Of doing a couple of the random off-day streams, maybe. And once I get a little bit more of how I was figuring out how to do the in real life streams, IRL streams, I could use that kind of technology to move the cameras around down here. So maybe just throwing it on and working on bikes a little bit if we get some bad weather this winter. So, yeah. Also, as mentioned, I have chatted with a friend, and I still need to get those, but he has some 650 rim brakes for me. So the idea of trying to turn like an old road bike into a wider tire bike is still something I want to do. Jason, if you're trying to drop a link, YouTube chat does not allow it to keep spammers out, basically. We're at 10:01, so yeah, it's not your fault. It's just how it is. But and typos just happen. But yeah, let's wrap it up. Let's say Happy Thanksgiving. Like I said, should have a video for Thursday, and then the Fender video for Monday is the plan. Should be streaming next Tuesday as well. Maybe we'll look at some bikes on that stream. We'll see. So yeah, let's wind it up. Oh, you're down under, so yeah, you're getting into the good season. Go-to beer. Don't have a go-to beer. I like tons of beers, so I don't depend on the season, depends on what I'm in the mood for. But all right, guys, thanks as always. See you soon. Peace.
Okay, bye.
All right.
Cause
Yeah.
this time I'm just kidding.
Fitzwater photo.